regarding the mission of the being, to perceive and to be perceived, seem to carry similar and contrary impulses. A camel wandering alone in the desert is like a strand of hair in the desert of the dense world, as it is difficult to perceive. However, its joining with many other strands of hair reveals it. The camel wants to be found by those who can assist it, but not by its predators. Alone, it has a greater chance of not being seen, possibly conquering the desert or perishing, but if found by predators, it will not have enough strength to face its enemies. Together with its kind, it will have a better chance of surviving the enemies, but it will have to follow the caravan and its destiny. Being seen and wanting to be seen confront the wisdom of the environment and the wisdom of the individual. Guiding leaders and contaminating leaders are thus distinguished. The being needs to understand this. Leaders are temporary, and not masters. On the journey, two or more, when conscious, will gradually separate naturally. There is no lack of love, disaffection, or feelings here, just the certainty that at some point, each will walk their own path, which in the end will be unique and encompass everything. It is the separation, for the final encounter. Influence and contamination have different conceptualizations in this treatise. Influence aims to guide, and the being can separate from it. Contamination enslaves the being, and it is difficult to separate from. Social intelligence will always provide new techniques of understanding and coexistence to contaminate beings, as long as they are human. The being must use wisdom to counter with its intelligence the contaminating intelligences. The being must be aware of this. Condemnations are typical, and are part of the being's repertoire. What is not explicit is that nothing and no one can be condemned for playing roles. A human being cannot be condemned for being human. Disposition or character is something, for the most part, poorly employed or misunderstood. Natural propensities are associated with roles. The beauty of the act of transformation lies in the recognition of this. Human beings will always practice humanity. Inhumanity is when human acts are not practiced. Good and bad disposition, or good and bad character, are classifications for the attitudes of the being. If the being is suited to the role, any practice will be correct, which undermines concepts of morality, ethics, good manners, and good and evil, as all beings are steps for everyone.